we've reached the lecture for the last template that we have to create. As you can see, throwing together these templates does take some time, but thankfully we've reached the end. The last thing that we need to do is create a new template that will allow us to edit a check. We can see that this route already exists on our router. It is called checks/edit, and it maps to handlers.checksEdit. So we can go to our handlers, copy down one that we already have, and now edit it for checksEdit. So I'll change this comment to edit a check. The title is going to be check details, and the body class will be checksEdit. The template that should be fetched is checksEdit. So now I'm going to go and touch templates checksEdit.html to create that. Open it up. And now we can paste in from our GitHub this full template. As you can see, it is just as big and complicated as the template that allows us to create a new check. It's much the same, except that it also includes the ability to delete a check as part of another form. As you can imagine, this template needs to be loaded with data when it's presented to the user. We don't just want to show them an empty form, and so we need to add logic to app.js that will determine which check the user is trying to view by reading the URL that they're trying to access, and then make a request to API/checks using a GET in order to get data about that particular check if the user has access to it, and then load that check's details into this actual form. So let's go ahead and update app.js. And as you can see, there is now a load checks edit page function which makes a request to API/checks and then fills this form up with all the data about that check so that the user can view what's there before they edit it. This includes checking all the boxes programmatically that need to be checked for success codes and selecting all the right options within the drop downs that are on the page. Now that this exists, we can go ahead and restart the app. I'm going to refresh the page that we're on. Looks like I need to log in again. Now I'm logged in. I want to view the check we created for Twitter. And we can see all the details. The check ID was programmatically created and is not editable. The current state is listed here and is not editable, but everything else is. For example, let's add on 400 and let's change the protocol to HTTPS. Now we're going to save. The changes have been saved, and we can go back to the dashboard and see that those changes have pushed through. So now all the checks exist. They're all being checked. That's why even the newly created Facebook one from the last lecture now has a state of up instead of unknown. So all the background workers are actually performing the checks as they're supposed to. The users, if we had any, would really be getting SMS alerts, and our application as a whole is working. But before you would go live with an application like this, you would want to build yourself some kind of admin interface so that you can keep track of how many users you have and the different logs for the different checks, and generally keep tabs on your system without having to parse through all your data files manually. So in the next section of this course, we are going to create a command line interface that is actually an admin tool that will let us walk around inside of the data and view different metrics about our server and about the application as a whole. So we can kill this lecture now, and after the section review, we will move on to a whole new section.